kind of show y'all some new stuff, and then I'm going to show you how I organize my stash. So welcome to this week's live stream. Next week on around Tuesday or Wednesday, we're going to be releasing Moda's market groups because market is so late this year. All the companies are releasing their fabric early, so if y'all want to start peeking at that stuff, that'll be great. So one new thing we have is It's So Emma. We try to release a couple patterns each month. Our new pattern is called Courtly Graces. The fabric is Brenda Riddle. And this is the quilt. Karen Hardy made it. Karen Hardy is one of our sample makers, and she also proofs all of our It's So Emma books. We've never met her, but she's great. So this is a new pattern. The kit won't be available until November, but it's really pretty, so I thought I would just show you guys the quilt. So that's a new pattern this week. And then Moda is coming out with color cuts, which is basically from their releases, they kind of combine groups. So this is the color cuts too. So there's like a navy, green, pumpkin, cream, gingerbread, and then a red, and they're really pretty. I love these two, the blue and the white, or the blue and the cream. So I just wanted to show you those. Those come in half-yard cuts, fat quarter bundles, 10-inch squares, and then 5-inch strips. So those are new. We're pretty low on stock on these. They sold better than our first batch, which kind of surprised me. So we under-ordered a little bit on this, just heads up. And then I'm so excited because our Perfect 10 book came out. It goes with our ruler, which is in here somewhere. I don't even know where my ruler is. It's somewhere in my stack of rulers. But this is our new Perfect 10 book. It came in, so I can kind of show you how pretty it is. This is our It's So Emma book. It has 16 quilts in it that use layer cakes and a new Creative Grids ruler. You don't have to have the ruler, it just makes it easier to cut. It's only $14.95, so it's less than $1 per pattern. And we have a free sew-along that is going with this. Now for the sew-along, you do need the book for the instructions. And one thing that was confusing to a couple of people is go to our blog each Tuesday, and there will be a free PDF that you download, and it'll tell you exactly what page to go to and how many units or how many blocks. So, because sometimes you make a block, sometimes you make a unit. So this week, what you're making, this is my quilt, the banana block and the birthday cake block. And so these are the first two, and I see a lot of you guys making it. They're so pretty. So this is the full quilt that it will make. You need 31 print squares, some background fabric, and I'll show you guys on the back. I did a really cool pieced backing just to use up some of my leftover 10-inch squares. I made some extra blocks, threw them on the back. I think that's always fun. I am going to do a live stream soon on how to do piece backs. And then I also was going to remind you guys we're having a swoon along from Bonnie and Camille using the Swoon 16. All the information is on our blog. It ends next week, so get your entries in. This is kind of what I made just to show a swoon block, but I'm sure you've seen them. These are all of Camille's swoon patterns, so if y'all want to participate, or just for inspiration, if you just want to see, there's a hashtag you can follow. So now, if y'all don't have any questions on that, I'll show you my stash.
Someone did ask if we could see a close-up of the color cuts, because I did not zoom in when you showed those.
Yes.
So let me zoom in on that.
So there's like navy and green.
Lovely.
And this one, these two look great together, the pumpkin and gingerbread. There's so much stuff you can do with these. You know, you can make a quilt and it can look totally scrappy, but you really don't have to put the work in to put the fabrics together because it's already done for you. So that's what I love about these.
And then somebody said that they've never seen an empty IKEA cart before.
Okay, so we're going to talk about that and why it's empty when I do my stash.
Okay, and that's...
Okay, so I'm going to start over here in this little corner. So I'm just going to go through all the little things that I do, and I want to start by saying I don't have a big stash. So you might not learn anything at all from me, but this is kind of what I do. And when I kind of thought about what do I do and how do I do it and why do I do it, I don't store by color. We have a video link below of Lori Holt's stash organization. Now, she has a ton of stash, and she does it by color. She does it very specific. I don't do that. And I kind of thought about, well, why don't I do by color, or why don't I do stuff like everybody else? I kind of just store where I can find it. So I have this little cart. It's really heavy. I got this at Home Goods. It's like 10 bucks. So I have all my triangle paper. So this is like 1 inch, 1.5 inch, 2 inch, 2.5, 3 inch, 3.5, 4 inch, 4.5, 5 inch, 5.5, and 6 inch, 6.5. So I have it here all divided so that if I'm making 2 inch, I know to go here, 1 inch here, so I don't have to like look at each. So it's very, you know, it looks scrappy, but it is very organized, and I can just remember where it goes. This is my little sew together bag. We sell the pattern. I bought it. This is way too hard for me to make. I actually didn't buy this one. Lori Holt bought it for me. It says Handmade with Love by Happy Little Cottage, but you can buy it on Etsy. But I use this for my binding. I have 2 little binding bags that I actually use. So this is one of them. This is my pattern box with all of Camille's patterns. So I actually have every single pattern from the Blossoms in here. They're not organized in any way. I just have them in here because I want to have them. I actually have it in here backwards. I even have all her like mini patterns. So I have this up here because I do use her patterns a lot and I like to look at the box. So that's up there. Okay, this cart. Well, first of all, I have this little quilt on top. It is from Lori Holt's book, Spelling Bee. So I made that with Lori. And I have that there so that, because my kids come in here all the time and I don't want their drinks or anything to get on here. So this is a cart. I bought it from Home Depot. It is a Martha Stewart Living cart. I bought it probably at least 3 years ago. There's a link to it below. I'm not sure if it's the exact same product because I bought it a long time ago, and when I bought it, it was a lot less expensive, but this is where anything that I'm currently working on is. And I think the quality of this product is good. So this is my top drawer. This is what I'm working on today. So this, I have all my fabric cut on my design board and my alphabetties and my pattern. So this is like something I have subscription to like every block of the month that Joanna Figueroa does. So this is one of hers. So that's sitting there. This is a binding that I have. Anytime I do a quilt, one of the first things I do is do the binding because I want it to be done when it comes back from the quilter. So the quilt that I showed you guys last week where I did the on point, this is the binding. My binding is always in my top drawer so I can find it. My second drawer is, everything is upside down for a reason. This is the patterns for Designer Mystery next year. I'm going to be working on that next week. So this is waiting. It's upside down so you can't see it, but when Designer Mystery fabric comes in, I'm going to be working out of this drawer. This is a vintage Christmas book, which should be online very early next week. That's big news. So if you pre-ordered it, it should be going early next week. So that I'm going to be working on a vintage Christmas quilt, so that's sitting there waiting for me. This is all of the blocks that I have been doing for blockheads. So this is a free program on Moda Fabrics blog, and these are just all of my blocks. So I keep my patterns, all my blocks in here. So every time I make one, when I go there, it's all together. Like, and this is kind of what's complete, and you'll see in a minute where I keep my fabric. So you can see everything is kind of organized, and down here I keep my Matilda rotating mat and this awesome, it's like a little block holder that I use. I'll show it to you. One of Joanna's friends, Cheryl, made it for me. So when I finish up, right now I've got some cross stitch stuff in here. But if I need to take a block to work and I don't want it to get bent or creased, I'll put it in here and use it. So I keep that down there, and those kind of stay there all the time. So this is basically anything that I'm working on right now. And then over here is kind of all my supplies. So I'm going to show you my notions and my fabric, and again, anything in here I'm currently working on. That's kind of blocks that, so I keep everything over there that's either been pieced or cut, and my fabric is here. So in this drawer I just have some rotary cutters that I don't use as often, some rulers, So Simple Shapes. In here I kind of keep things that I don't use as much. In here I keep everything that I use. I keep my rotary cutter that I do use, my like 10 pair of Omni Grid scissors because I use these like crazy, my endurance blades, my binding kit. This is my other little binding kit that I use. But anything that I'm going to need to get to right away, like my binding ruler and my whatever this is that takes the, yeah, lint roller, scissors, anything. So I use this drawer a lot. And then every Creative Grids ruler that I own is in here. And I try to just keep them flat. And Piggy has treats that are in the drawer. So this is like where I keep all my stuff. So I'm gonna kind of show you my fabric. It's not that much. So in this drawer, I signed up for a cream sparkle block of the month from Joanna, and you can see that I haven't started it, but all of it's here so that one day I can start it. I actually want to start it soon, so it's in here. And then the leftovers are here, and then I have a project that I have started. So the reason this is in a plastic bag is that means that I've starched it. Okay, in here, this is part of the thing in the top drawer. These are blocks that I have already made. They're on a design board that go with the block in there. And so all of the fabric in here has been starched. All the instructions are in here. So that's kind of here. But the difference between the two is these are finished, those are not, so I need to work on that today. This is another Joanna block of the month. This is her red and cream. So I have it in here. Like on the bottom, I keep all of the blocks that I finished on a design board. So I have all of that. I don't want to get it too messed up. And then on the top, anything on this side is starched. Anything on this side is not starched. So even though it's kind of like, it isn't just all thrown in here, it's all for a reason. This is cream fabric that I've been collecting because I would like to add to the cream block of the month. So this is just cream fabrics. These, I have all of my applique needles and applique thread and applique pins in here. Okay, so here is my Moda Blockheads fabric. I bought the little 5-inch rolls, and then I used my leftovers from a kit that I had, and this drawer is unstarched. And I have it stacked by color. So I've got like my yellows together, my pinks together, everything's kind of together. It's not perfect. But then this drawer is starched. And then this little bag is starched so that I can know, okay, and I can feel it if it's starched or not, but so I have that kind of going in 2 drawers. And the bottom drawer is a mess. So this is leftovers. I did a bunch of projects from Autumn Love. So this is like leftover fabric that I either need to organize and put in my other room, or I need to donate, or I need to do something. And this is a finishing kit for a block of the month that I made the blocks and never got to the finishing. So this is here. So this is kind of my drawer of, I need to figure out if I'm gonna really finish it or if I'm not. So that's kind of my drawer of, I'm still thinking about, because maybe I'll make something else, maybe I won't. I don't really know what I'm gonna do. So that's all in there. Over here, I really don't have much in here. I just have my starch. I have some distilled water that I've been using because my irons have been acting up. And then here, I use this anytime I'm in the middle of a project. So if I'm working, like next week on Designer Mystery, once it's starched, it will go in here and it will be in different sections like block 1, block 2, block 3. But right now, I'm kind of, everything's cut and waiting over there. But I use this all the time. It's kind of a place that I just throw things. But I'm not in the middle of a project right now.
Oh, where can people get that?
So I bought this like 3 or 4 years ago at IKEA. I think they have them at Michael's and Costco now, but I bought it, and to be honest, I bought it because Lori Holt had it. I copy a lot of what Lori does. She's okay with it, but yeah, Lori had it at her house. She has several of these, so I copied it, but it was years ago. I don't even know if they make it anymore, the exact one. So yeah, but I do use it. It's just, I don't like my room to be very messy, so that's why everything is in drawers and in spaces, but if I am in the middle of a project, this will be really packed. And then over here, I keep, let's see, I keep all my needles in a little thing, and I actually copied this from Lori too. These are called iris boxes, and I get them from Amazon. If you want like an exact link, you can get on my Kimberly Stitch Squad and ask me and I can find them for you. But I keep all my needles, like pins, oil. I have a bunch of feet. So I keep these together. I like my drawers to be neat. I keep little leftover pieces of fabric here so that they can be my leaders and enders. And I keep pre-wound bobbins in this. We sell this, it's called like a bobbin something. But you can see that I wound my bobbins last week. So I keep that. This is a new favorite thing that I have. Let me see what it's called. It's by Quilt in a Day, so it's by Eleanor Burns. It's machine cleaning brushes. They're really awesome I can kind of clean. So I keep those in there. I have some washi tape, and then I have these, which is funny. I started using cones, and I got this from Gina Tell. I never really used cones because they kind of go like this, but my machine came with these, but I don't know where these are, so I bought them on Amazon for like $3. So now my cone doesn't move around, so I got these recently. Somebody was asking me what they were. So there's that. And then I'll show you kind of where the rest of my stuff is. And, you know, again, everything, I kind of feel bad that y'all are not going to learn anything, but this is kind of what I do. So I'll show you in my other room. The other room is more just stuff I'm probably going to maybe get to one day, maybe not.
All right, hang on one sec. Sorry guys, we're on a cart and it takes a little bit of maneuvering. Alright.
So I keep like bags here because I use these bags all the time for when I go to dance conventions and stuff. So I keep like little bags. These are like Riley Blake bags, but I have these like everywhere. So I just keep these here in case I need them. And here what I have is my design boards. I use these all the time. I have in, let me see, this drawer is starched fabric. So this is fabric that I have starched. This is leftover. I might use it one day, I might not. It's not sorted by color because you can see I don't have that much. This is unstarched. So these are fabrics that, you know, they're just leftover. Like I made the swim block, I have leftover. But these are from designers like Bonnie and Camille, Lori Holt, Fig Tree that I love. So I will keep these. And the bottom is the same thing, unstarched fabric. Over here, I have Fig Tree all by itself. I kind of keep Fig Tree, and you'll see that Fig Tree kind of is empty because I do use those a lot. And then I have a little bit of all the Cozy Christmas, well, a little bit. I have all of the Cozy Christmas here. So I am going to hopefully get to sew along with you guys when we do the vintage Christmas sew along. So that's all in here, but it hasn't been starched. So this is just leftovers, but you see, I really don't have a lot of leftovers, and the reason why is I do try to buy just what I need. So if I am gonna make a project, I will try to buy exactly what I need and almost feel like I'm constantly bringing fabric home because I didn't buy enough. Let's see. Up here, this is all cross stitch. So I love cross stitch. There's just like cross stitch patterns. I have, my mom bought all of this for me for Christmas one year. I have every DMC, Anchor, and Cosmo thread, and variegated thread. That's a little, yeah, that's a little much. But I don't use it because I like to look at it. It's horrible. So that's all my cross stitch. And then up here I have two little boxes. Those are both from my grandmother, who I just adored so much, and my aunt and uncle were so nice to let me have some of her things when she passed away. She actually gave me the small one, but when she passed away I got the large one. So I leave it up there because I don't want my kids to, you know, my kids are little, I don't want it messed up. It's super sentimental to me, and even inside has like stuff of hers. Like when I opened it, it had my brother's college graduation invitation in it. So everything in there is just like exactly like it was given to me. Over here, down here, I have every book and pattern in here. I do not like the way this is stored because I can't ever find anything. So I am going to find a way to where I can, but let me see. But like this has like every It's So Emma book in it that we've ever published. They're all just in here, but I can't get to them easily. I just haven't figured out a way. And patterns, like I said, any pattern I've ever made, I either put it in here, or if I think I'm never going to use it again, I throw it away. But this is just every pattern. This is a sewing machine I never use. I should use it. And then here, this is the stuff, this is all Joanna's fabric. So this is Joanna Fig Tree. I'm probably her biggest customer. I buy kits from her. These are things that I get in the mail from other people that I never make. This is Sweetwater Club. I'm in Sweetwater's Club, so these are her things. Okay, here's Piggy's buttons. These, I have to figure out what to do. I had these made by just another button company. She handmade them for me. So they're little piggy buttons and piggy pins. And so I'm gonna do something with them. I don't know what, but my kids kind of were playing with them, so I put them away. So these are piggy buttons. And then I have some Riley Blake fabric that's just kind of hidden away. I have up here some Arthur thread boxes that I really like, that I've just saved. Like we have a tote box, a piecing box, a binding box. So those were made just for Fat Quarter Shop, so I've kept one just so I always have it.
Somebody said, oh my god, Piggy.
Oh, I love Piggy. And then I'm in Joanna's little Fig Tree box, so I get the boxes. They sit here. I don't ever make them it's kind of like you guys with your sampler boxes. But yeah, mine kind of sit here because I don't really have time to get to them. If I ever get to go to a retreat, I will do them eventually. But so I kind of keep everything. You can see these are all empty. And they're empty because I really try not to buy anything I'm not going to use. So the fig tree I will eventually use. I've made several of her things. The Sweetwater I will eventually use. And then everything else that I buy, I make because I need to make it really fast for the store. This is like a little container I had. I got it before I got married, so I probably had it like 17 years. It's just like really old thread. I can't even open some of the drawers. It's just really old stuff that I have. This applique glue is probably 20 years old. I just don't want to get rid of it, so it just kind of sits here. I don't even use it. It's kind of just, I don't know, one of those things that you don't want to get rid of. This has my little, my pins. I copied this from Camille. So, and this says Piggy. And then I have some crochet thread over here because I do crochet. And then I keep my large design boards over here. So that's kind of it. So we'll go back out here because it kind of gets hot in my closet. This closet is pretty tiny. And I'll answer y'all's questions.
Yeah, we got lots of questions coming in. Oh, hang on, I need to change my camera settings here. Sorry, guys. There we go. Okay. Okay. Let me just add these last few questions here. Scroll back down. Let's see. Can we let's go to the fabric? Okay, so going back to color cuts, Kathleen was asking, last week you showed us a color cuts quilt. Is the pattern available?
It is. It's called Dessert Sampler, and it is available on our website, and it is designed by Moda Fabrics, published by Moda Fabrics. I am hoping that when they release the market collections next week that they have a Color Cuts 3, because it is a program that I like and like to use. Yeah, so it's called Dessert Sampler.
And on the color cuts subject, are they going to have color cuts for winter? Teresa's asking.
Well, so they usually do like spring and fall. I don't know if they'll do Christmas. I can ask them next week when I see the fabric. I haven't seen the fabrics yet. The Christmas that Moda releases, they release it the first week of January. So if they did, then we would be able to preview it then, and then it would ship in May and June. So I will ask that question.
April Jackson says she got up early so she could watch the live stream.
Oh, thanks.
And Christine was asking, how do you organize multiple works in progress?
Yeah, so I kind of keep them. You can see like my method's not perfect. I honestly just wherever I can remember where I put stuff because I am super forgetful, and I do try to keep stuff out of reach of my kids. I have 4 kids. My daughter not so much because she dances a lot and she watches like YouTube, and So You Think You Can Dance and all that stuff. But my boys, they are in here from the second they get home from school today. They will come right in here. They will play. There's a little area over here they sit in. My dog sits in. I mean, they will be in here for hours. So I do keep everything kind of put up so that they don't touch my stuff because they know not to do that. But they do. Like they'll just be in here like messing with stuff. So I only leave out stuff that they can mess with.
And Julie C says, OMG, I'm finally watching live. Hi, Kimberly.
Hi.
And Christy was asking, do you make a lot of smaller quilts and table toppers?
I do. So like I love to make stuff like this. So I made this about a week ago, and then next week, 2 days ago, I made a really cute, it's called Thistle Mini Tree Skirt, and it's online on our Coming Soon page. It's just a digital image because the quilt is at the Quilters. So I basically went back, took an old book that hopefully a lot of you already have, pieced it, and then next week on the live stream, next Friday, I am going to show you how to turn a small quilt like this into a tree skirt. So I'm going to have it quilted, and I'm going to show you how you cut the center, how you cut down the side, or cut down wherever you want to cut. You can cut here or here, and how you bind it. So yeah, I love to do small stuff because I can start and finish. So yeah, next week, that'll be really cute, I think.
Shell Quilter was asking, do you keep all fabrics for each project together so you don't run out, and where do you keep it?
Yeah, so I keep everything, like you could see, I keep my colors together. So I'll keep like Bonnie and Camille's together, Fig Trees together, and Lori Holt's together. So you can see that I keep it all together. If it's a project, I keep it together. And when I'm done with a project, kind of like this bottom drawer, it's like sitting there because I'm not sure I'm going to keep it. I might keep it, I might donate it, I might give it to a friend, or I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So it stays in that drawer until I've made a decision because I don't want to get rid of something that I might still use. Yeah.
Gavin said, love the thread storage. How many reels?
Okay, so these are all spools. My uncle made this. My aunt watches every week. Hi, Aunt B. So we have all the different weights. So I have 50 weight, 40 weight, 28 weight, and R floss. And then I have my 80 weight down here. I don't know how many are here. I sometimes tell my son Peyton, because he's really funny, that he needs, because he's really hyper. So I'm like, why don't you count how many spools there are? And he will literally start counting. He gives up like after a minute. He's like, forget it, Mom. I don't know, a lot. Yeah. So that, like I said, I really love thread. I really love buttons. I have a ton of thread and buttons. Like I have these little, I'll show you. Let me grab them. So I'm like super obsessed with buttons, and so I'm in the Just Another Button Club that we've had. We've had it for 3 years, so I've been collecting the buttons over the years. And I have these little jars. We have videos that Lily can link below that Rachel came up with. This is called Rachel's Pincushion, and you can look it up on YouTube, and she shows how you make this. And so I add to these buttons every month. I have all the colors. I have peach, blue, pink, mint, aqua, pink, another pink, red, green, peach, and yellow. I also have my black and white over here. So I'm obsessed with buttons. Yeah.
And Shell Quilter was asking, what are the sizes of the drawers on your cutting table?
Let's see. So inside they would be 14 by like 28, 14 by 28 or so.
Teresa said, it's a real shame you don't like fig tree stuff, Kimberly. Wink, wink.
I know, I love her stuff. Like I buy everything, and then half the time, I swear, like anytime she goes live with stuff, I'm never at home, and I'll be texting her like, do you need to put me down? And she's like, I don't know how to do it. You have to call customer service. So I'm like, I will call work and be like, can you call and use my card and like book me for this before it sells out. She sells out so fast. So half the time I'm struggling just to get the fabric that, yeah, because she sells out all the time. Yeah.
Lisa says, do you sell the design boards?
Yeah, we do. We just got some in stock with the Vintage Christmas collection. So there's 3 large and 3 small. And then in December, Lori's next fabric collection is called Farm Girl Vintage. And we're going to have 3 large and 3 small in that too. And then a lot of those that you see, I made. We have a video on YouTube if you just search Lori Holt Design Boards, and she shows how you make them. So I've made some with her. She's given me some. But yeah, you can either make them or buy them.
All right, give me 1 second here. Got a lot of questions coming in. Okay. Go down. Victory stuff. Mary is asking, do you starch all of your fabric before you cut? And Lori had been asking, what starch do you use?
So I do. I've had 2 or 3 videos on YouTube. If you just search Kimberly Jolly Starch, I got the method from Lisa Bonjean. I starch every single thing that I do. I use this. It's called Faultless Premium Professional Starch, no flaking. The biggest thing is that it'll say no flaking. You can get this at Costco or HEB, or basically anytime I'm at the store, I grab some. I basically starch it where it is 100% saturated. I use PVC pipe. I put it over that. I have a drying rack. I put it over that, and I starch everything. I won't make anything without starch.
April Jackson was asking, do you label the fabric when it comes in as to whether it is for a block of the month or not?
Well, I always keep like the pattern with it. So like as you can see, like these came in and the pattern was with it. So I keep it all together into one container. I'll keep it together. Yeah. So yeah, I keep it together. But like that block of the month, I've been wanting to do that forever. It'll just be one of those days where I'm like, oh, I'm finally caught up with work. Let me just do it.
All right. And Deborah was asking, I read that distilled water is acidic and that it ruins your iron. You are supposed to use filtered water, like from a Brita picture. And she says she thinks she read it on Fons and Porter. Yeah,
I have no idea. I just know that my water we have where I live is super hard, and it will leave like yellow. Like I was getting yellow right here, which doesn't give me much confidence since I'm drinking it. So I've been trying distilled, it's worked, but that might be totally true. Yeah, I don't know.
And Julie C. was asking, Kimberly, do you keep every quilt you make?
No. So I have in my closet probably 100 quilts that are just sitting there. Anytime somebody dies in my family, they're buried with a quilt. They're buried with something that I think that would fit their personality. I give them to people like aunts and uncles, or people who are older who will appreciate them. My kids have a ton of quilts. My son sleeps with his Minecraft quilt every night. I've got other kids who are like, oh, whatever. They don't care. I have sold some on eBay. When I moved last year, I sold a bunch on eBay. I like to keep them. I don't always use them because I don't know. So yeah, I keep some, give some away, store them. I've got stacks and stacks of them. I have a whole huge case at work that probably has 50 or 60 quilts. They're just in there. I leave a lot of them at work because, we might be promoting that one quilt for a whole year. And then eventually I'll bring it home. But yeah, I have a lot. It's really bad.
All right, and we had a lot of people asking where you got those chairs.
Okay, so the chair situation is, I bought those, I probably bought one about 5 years ago, and then one about 2 or 3 years ago. I bought them at So Much More in Austin, Texas. I believe they were made by Horn or Koala, but they are now discontinued because I have had that question on Facebook and tried to research it. So they're discontinued. I like the height. Like if I went to I have my sewing table made a little bit higher because I am taller. And sometimes when like if you try something at I tried stuff at like Office Depot or whatever, but they're just too high. So yeah, I like the height. And they're super comfortable. The only thing I would say is everything sticks to them. So like I can just pull off like thread. So one of my sons, they have to do chores, and one of them like loves to vacuum, so he'll come vacuum. But even if he puts the vacuum cleaner on it, there's just stuff stuck to it that'll never come off. It's probably the starch that probably went on top of it.
April Jackson said, can you do a video on leaders and enders?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Debbie says, please could I ask the size of your cutting mat on your chest and what brand is it? Many thanks.
It is 28 by 51. It is mega matte. So if you put a message on my Kimberly Stitch Squad on Facebook, I can find it on Amazon and link to it. We don't sell it. When it comes, when you buy it, it'll come rolled up, and it does take a long time to really flatten. So what I did, well, when I get them, the reason I have Lori Holtz on top is because I never want to have to replace this one because it's super expensive. And so when it comes, you have to like lay it upside down and put a ton of books. It takes like a week to make it sit down. So I try never to have to replace it. It's pretty pricey, which is also why we don't sell it, but it's just too big.
All right, and Barbara was asking, what size are your block design boards? So the design boards, what sizes do they come in?
I don't know. Let me go get one. I don't know.
Yeah, there's like a big one and a small one. Keep the questions coming, guys. This is great.
So, let's see. So for the ones we sell, the large is 18 inches and the small is 10 inches, a little bit over 10. This is my favorite size though, and I made these. This is 12 inches. So this is the one, these are the two that I use the most. I made these when So Cherry, the very first So Cherry came out. So the one that I use the most is 10 inches. We don't sell that, or 12 inches. We don't sell that size. So next time I make some, I'll probably make some more this size. I will say they're kind of a pain to make just because I'm not very handy with hot glue guns. And I like burn myself like crazy when you make them.
Patricia was asking, can we see some of your cross stitch?
Yeah, let me go get it. It's not in here. I'll go get it. I'll go get
I was
it.
going to say we can also do a video in the future.
Yeah,
Or you just show. I know somebody had been asking about the thread rack. She talks about it more in one of our first live streams that we did, but that's custom made by her uncle. Where all the threads are. And all the furniture in here is also custom made by a company that I believe went out of business already. Let's see. Questions. Also, if anyone has video suggestions, we always take video suggestions.
So next week we are going to be releasing a new cross stitch pattern by Lori. I can't show it to you yet, but I'll show you some stuff that I've made. I have like a ton of stuff. I can't like grab all of it, but this I made. I think my daughter was maybe 1 or 2. So it was in her room, but she's not really into cross stitch. So I like took it. And then I made this at a dance convention this year. I'd have to look up, I still have the pattern. I'd have to look, and you see it's all in plastic because I keep it all in plastic. It's because I need to get it framed. I changed the colors. So this was like a pink typewriter. I changed all the colors. I used Cosmo floss. So I'm going to take that to get that framed. And then I made this last Christmas. I made this like in 2 or 3 days. This was a pattern on Etsy, and it is, I've got to go get these things framed. So these are the most recent things that I did. My daughter is a dancer, and so when she goes to dance conventions, I try to either take a book to prove or a cross stitch to do, because like at anything, you know, the moms can just like start getting, they just want to talk about everything. I just want to sit there, cross stitch. I put on headphones, listen to podcasts. Plus that music can get kind of like crazy loud. So if I put my headphones on, I can just be like in my own world. And then, so yeah. But if you like any of these things, I can try to find where I bought them. But we have a Lori Holt cross stitch called Farm Girl Happy Farm Girl, I think. And then we are going to have a new one next week that I'm going to show you on the live stream next week.
Christy's asking, where did you get the storage baskets?
Okay, so I got all of that at Container Store. And they actually, at my old house, I had some like different shelves that, like here, I don't even think I really need those. But at my old house, like I had these long cabinets. And so I really, if I wanted to find stuff, I had to use baskets. If I had to redo it, I don't really need those baskets, but yeah.
All right, and oh yeah, where did you get your bins? Teb said, I want to go on vacation at your house.
So you want to come, okay, you come today at 3:30 when my kids come home from school, and you can see all the chaos. And then we can go to karate at 5 o'clock and watch them break boards. It's a lot of fun.
And Linda says, what is the brand of your dark cabinet that has multiple drawers?
So I had this made a couple of years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. The company's now out of business, but I had it made. My old house, I had this tiny octangular, it was the weirdest shaped room, so I had all this made so that it would actually fit and I could get, yeah.
And Val was asking, is that an OTT light?
No, it is a Dear Stella light. We don't sell them, but I love them. The reason I love them is, and the reason we don't sell them is because you can get them cheaper on Amazon. And so it's hard for me to sell something when I know that my customers can save money getting it somewhere else. So you can touch it. These have been on since like 7 o'clock this morning. Nothing is hot. And then my son loves to do this. So you can change this. You can change all the lights. So he knows this light. I don't like this one because late at night it's pink. So he will come in here and change all of them. And then I come in here and I'm like, drives me crazy. He also, on my Juki, his new thing is there's a little rabbit speed. He will come in here and put it all the way to the bottom. He will come in here and change he'll sneak in here when I'm getting ready for bed. He'll change all the lamps, he'll change my little thing, and then he'll come in here and just sit in the corner and just be sitting there waiting until I get so frustrated because I'm like, why is my machine not working? And then he's like, I made it. Yeah. But he's funny. He keeps busy.
Teresa said, question for Lily, are you responsible for all of Fat Quarter Shop's videos?
Yes, she is.
Amy had been asking, what are those rolls of fabric sitting on the table?
So these are called dessert cuts, and this is like color cuts too. They're by Moda. They're 5-inch strips by Width of Fabric. These are their new fall colors that came out last week. They had some previously that were in spring colors. Those are mostly sold out. And these are their new colors, and I'm hoping that when they release fabric next week that they have a whole nother batch for next time. And there is a free pattern available on their website that you can use to make, I think it's leaves, like fall leaves. It's a free pattern that you can use to, if you have these fabrics.
Beth says, what are the names of the small boxes again by your machine in your sewing room you got on Amazon?
Iris. I-R-I-S. And it has like a little heart. Yeah, I-R-I-S. And I think these are the photo box size. They are 4.5 by 6.5. Yeah. And they fit exactly in my drawers, which is why I have them. But I'm very OCD. I like things to be neat. Like if I opened that drawer and it was a mess, it would just drive me crazy.
Gavin says, do we get to see the dog?
The dog, I can go get him. Hold on, he's a little hyper, so let me get him.
Yeah, he was very hyper this morning. And Gavin, I do not think you are the only bloke in the room today. I believe Gabriel is watching as well. Yeah, Kimberly's going to go get Piggy. Let's see. Keep the questions coming, guys. These are all great. I hear a piggy. Hi. Oh, I know you gotta go in front of the camera, Piggy.
So Piggy really likes Lily a lot. So he bugs her. So let's see. Come on, Piggy. Get up here. Come on. So there's Piggy. He's a little hyper today, so I need to take him for a walk. I usually take him for like a 30-minute walk, and then he'll just sit on my desk. But he's extremely hyper, and if he sees he's super hyper today. But he's a baby.
All right. Some people, because somebody asked if they could vacation at your house, some people were saying quilt retreat at Kimberly's.
I want to do a quilt retreat eventually. We would probably just do it at a hotel. I just need to wait till my kids are like just a little bit older. Right now, and my kid, she's pretty independent. You know, she can go to her stuff by herself. But my boys, you know, they play baseball. If I'm not there, they get their feelings hurt. So,
Betsy Boyle said, kind of off subject, but have you ever done a tour of your business/warehouse?
No, I don't think we ever will. I don't know, there's just something to keeping what we do. I also think a lot of my employees would be super uncomfortable with us being there, and I think they would flip out, and they would probably nobody's orders would go out that day. I don't think my employees would like it at all.
Yeah, I feel like it would be distracting.
Yeah, it would definitely be distracting.
BJ7481 was asking, does keeping your rulers in the drawers scratch off the markings?
No. Okay, so I used to keep my rulers up like this little ruler thing, and this works great for small rulers, but my big rulers would get wavy. They don't ever get wavy or anything, and I only keep see, there's somebody walking. No. Come here. No, come on. No. This is why he's not in here today. No. It's okay, baby. No. He's really not being good today. Come here. Come on. So yeah, what was I talking about? I know
the rulers.
Oh yeah, so no, I just leave them flat. But I do only keep the ones I use over here, and the ones that I don't use as much I put on the other side, just so that they're not all intermingled.
We have a funny comment from Deanna. She says, I missed the first part of your live stream because I was watching for our mail carrier. I knew my flourish from Fat Quarter Shop was on its way to my front porch.
Gosh, your mail carrier comes early. Ours comes so late.
And Karen Sue says, I love buttons too and subscribe to the Words with Buttons. Is there another button club?
So this is her 3rd year. So the first year was just colored packs. Those were called button jars. So if you want to see the ones that originally come out, if you search button jars, those are the ones that I started with. And then the 2nd year, I can't remember exactly what she did. And then now she's doing a mix. So I've just collected them over the years. I've also bought some of her sprinkle packs, smoothie packs, party packs. She's also given me some for free when she came to film. So I just collect them. Even the thing that I'm going to show you guys next week is a red and white Christmas table topper that I'm going to turn into a tree skirt. And I was kind of thinking about, after I get the binding on, looking to see if buttons would be cute on it, because then I would probably just ask my kids, put the buttons where you think they go, and then I could sew them on, take a picture of where they put them and then sew them on. But I have to see how I think that looks.
Vicky was asking, what is the color blue of your wall?
We will. Do you remember, Lily? Do you have that somewhere?
Oh, it's in another. We talked about it in another video.
We talked about it in another video. I know it's Sherwin-Williams. We could look in the garage, but I don't.
I can look and put it in the description afterwards.
Yeah, we can look later.
Gabriel is asking, can you show us your first quilt you ever?
So, I will have to find that. I think I can find it. Yeah. Stop. Piggy. He's really This is why. No! Come here. Come here.
There we go.
He's just extra special today. Extra special.
And Kane Candy says, does Kimberly put a label on every quilt she makes?
Yes. I used to not, but I started the Sweetwater Label Club recently, and I love her labels. I'll show you. Sit down. Sit. Sit. So I love her label club so much that I actually asked her to make me some because I haven't been in it that long. So I paid her for all these labels. So, Piggy, no. So I just have them in here. I'm gonna put them in a better, so I just use these. She's not paying me to say, I paid for these. She's not paying me to advertise for her in any way. But yeah, I just use the Sweetwater labels. I like them. I'm gonna do a live stream in about 2 or 3 weeks and show you some piece backings. I have some really, I've been trying to kind of change them up a little bit to give you guys different ideas on what you can do. So I'm just kind of waiting until I have enough to show you. But what I do is hers have a, I guess it's like a fusible. Like when you, like it's got a fusible. So it's sticky, so you can't just sew this into your quilt. So what I do is I take this, I put it, I fuse it to a white fabric, and then it's like a regular fabric. Then I cut around it how I want it to fit and just sew it in like a regular fabric. But I think the way she means for you to do it is to just like take it off and just stick it on. I just prefer to sew it in so that if my quilt is ever stolen, my name is in there. You can't just take it out because it's quilted on top of.
And we're just going to take a few more questions, guys. Kim says, how often do you have to bust out the seam ripper when you're sewing?
Oh, just a little. I starch, so not too much, but I mean, yeah, I have to.
And Linda was asking, did you make that ironing surface?
My uncle did, the same one who made this. It is basically like a big board underneath. So I had this bottom made, it just lifts off, and it is a big board. So basically it's like wooden plywood. And then what we did, well, what my uncle did, is put down like a lot of batting and fleece, and then he took this material, which I'm trying to get an account to sell it. It is called Miracle Ironing Board Cover. So I'm trying to get the information to sell it. I bought these at Quilt Festival years ago. It is a really hot material that reflects heat, so it gets your fabric really flat. And he got it, took it to his house, staple gunned it down. And I've got, it's a little bit dirty, so I probably need to like take that off and fix it, so.
Yeah. And if they wanted to make something similar, you did that video with Cindy when we went to go visit Riley Blake.
Oh yeah, so Lily can link to that, but if you just search, I think it's on the Riley Blake channel. It's just how to cover, it's really easy. You just need a staple gun, and you just kind of treat it like a quilt. You just put it down, miter your corners on the back, and you just staple gun it down. And as long as you do it on a flat surface and you've got a strong staple gun, it's not hard at all.
And Denise was asking, do the Stella lamps add heat to your work area?
No, they don't. That's why I was saying when you touch them, there's no heat at all. I used to have Ott lamp. I probably shouldn't say that, but they just were too hot. I can't have those around kids because I don't want my kids to get burnt. The Ott lamps are probably brighter because of that. So, you know, if you don't have kids, but I wouldn't want to risk. My kids get into everything. Like, there's nothing in here that doesn't get past my kids. Like, I guarantee today when they come in, they'll start looking through, oh, what's this, what's this, what's this? Like, they love to be in here. And the only way that I can get them out of my stuff is like if I turn on their TV. But usually they don't even care about TV. They're just like, what can I get into?
Teresa's asking, do you sell the cute shirt that you're wearing?
I do. It's called Impressions, I think.
Yes, and we can link it down below afterwards too.
Okay.
Michelle was asking, the wire racks in the closet are from?
They're from Container Store. They're Olfa. Those are the Olfa brand. I have had those since my before I was married. I've had those like 20 years. So I actually want one more to stack, so I need to go get it, but they're kind of expensive. So Container Store has a sale every year in November where everything is like 20 or 30% off. So when they have that, I'm going to add one more. But their stuff is really, it's really expensive, so I only go there if there's a sale. That place is like way, I don't know, I just feel like it's just too expensive. So, but I've had those for, way before I was married.
All right. Oh, and Gavin said, sorry, my fault for asking to see Piggy because he was barking.
He's so bad.
But Teresa said Piggy just wants to make sure you're safe.
He's a good boy. He's just, I don't know, today he was just, usually he's pretty calm, but today he has been a little out of control. But I'll take him for a walk in a little bit and he'll be fine.
And Brenda says, sounds like your uncle's a really great guy.
Oh, he's awesome.
And Janet was asking, what kind of Juki machine do you have and why did you choose that one?
So I have the TL 2010Q. We can link to that too. And they're not paying, I don't get paid by Juki in any way. That is my machine. I bought it off Amazon. There's two of them. We have one at work and I've had one since Christopher was about one. I've had it about 6 years. So the bad thing about it is it only does a straight stitch, but it is very powerful. So it goes over those seams. It can do a really tight stitch. It goes super fast. So the reason I have it is it's super fast, and it also, you can cut the thread with your foot. So I can be very efficient. So that's why I love it. But I could never, a lot of people quilt on it, like use it for free motion quilting. I really don't do that. But I just like it because it's powerful. And it's cheap. I don't think you need I will say Baby Lock just came out with this awesome machine and I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, I love it. It's like $10,000. No, I don't have $10,000 to spend on a machine. That does just fine. So yeah, I would love to have one of those really fancy, expensive machines, but I'm not gonna pay for a $10,000 machine when I can have a $900 one for...
We had a few questions earlier on YouTube, throughout the week, so I'm going to bring some of those in. Somebody asked, I hope the Cotton and Steel ladies hop over to AGF. When they do announce their move, will you guys switch the Cotton and Steel Club over to their new company?
So we have to decide on that. We have not made a decision because I haven't seen the fabric. I don't know where they're going. I will tell you that Kim Kite's kids, her son goes to the same school that my daughter goes to, so I've seen her recently. She would not tell me where they went, but she said I would be happy. So it's going to be released. They're under contract until Quilt Market. As soon as I know, I will make a decision. It might not be the week after Quilt Market. The week after Quilt Market, one of my sons is having a surgery. It's a pretty invasive surgery. He will be home for 3 days. So I probably will not make the decision until a week after market because of that, because I have to go through everything. So I would say we're 50-50. I have to see which designers even moved because they might have all moved together. They might not have. I have to see the fabric. I have to see who's selling it. But I will definitely keep everybody posted. I will send an email to every club member. Yeah.
All right, and somebody had asked, how old is Piggy?
2. And he has an Instagram. It's the Piggy Pug. Don't you?
It's super cute too. Kim, have you figured out how much fabric is needed for the perfect 10 quilt backing and background fabric?
Yes, I don't have it with me right now. If you go to our blog and search Perfect 10, the original post has a PDF that you can download that has fabric requirements, backing fabric, binding fabric, and how many. I know you need 31 print squares, but I can't remember the background, but it is all calculated and on that sheet.
All right, and someone was wondering if the binding stitch is the best to use. She said on a table runner, I used to use just a straight stitch, which looked great, but what do the professionals use? I think, for binding.
For binding, I put it on by machine and then I hand stitch the back. So I think it's personal preference. I like the hand stitch look. I've seen some people do a blanket stitch, which is super cute. I don't think I have the patience to do it. But next week I'm going to be showing how to bind a Christmas tree skirt. It's a little bit different than the way I do my normal binding, but so maybe you can watch that and I can maybe answer a little bit more then.
All right, and the last question we're going to take here, Angie says, I joined the live stream late, so you may have talked about this already, but are you happy using the thread code for piecing? The Orifil thread code.
Oh yeah, I love the cone. So really why I switched was I used Color 2000 and I just was out and I was winding a ton of bobbins and it just takes so much, and then it's like you have to switch cones. So or switch spools, and I don't know, I saw Gina Tell do it, and since she had the little plastic cone on, I thought that's how you get it to fit, because I never really knew how to get it to fit, and I think it'll last longer and just save time, because I'm all about saving time.
Okay, and if you want to wrap it up.
Okay, so for live stream this week, just so you guys know, we released 2 videos. We released a video to help with Sew in Love, which was Adita's book. She has tips on the month 3 block. We released some videos from Shannon Fabrics on how to work with Minky. So if you want to check those out, like us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, Facebook. And if you want to have direct communication, you can follow me on Kimberly Stitch Squad. Next week on 17th. On the 17th, for our YouTube members, I am going to give them a sneak peek at a brand new quilt. It is going to be a book and a block of the month in 2 different colorways. I'm going to give them a sneak peek of that and a couple of other things. I'm going to give them a sneak peek, and then on Friday next week I will show all of you guys, and I will be showing you some new things, and I will be showing you how to turn a small table topper into a tree skirt for Christmas. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys next week. Have a good weekend.